strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Hey there, Splinterlands fans. We have an update on the Future of Runi that just dropped, talking about what's going to come, some potential ideas for things that could come, and it's creating a little bit of a stir. There's a lot of players who are not too happy about this, so of course I'm going to break it down for you, give my own personal opinions, and kind of talk about this Runi controversy here. So let's dive in through this post. I'll link the full post down below if you want to go read through it yourself. So first off, it talks about ruining staking and in-game usage. So this is something that was widely known. It says it will be here by the end of the year. That's a little longer than some people were expecting, but overall this was pretty much known. And if you haven't seen it before, the way that Rooney staking will work is that you can stake your Rooney in the game, then that card will be delegated to you. Every card has the exact same stats, but it will have your unique artwork on it, and you can use it to play in the game that way. So that's how Rooney will be playable in the game. This part here is the big controversy. I think most people liked pretty much everything in this post, except some didn't like this one right here. So we've talked about what they had initially called component swapping. So, and they've now renamed it to Rooney reconstruction. And what this is the ability to change traits on your Rooney. This was something that was mentioned shortly before the mint, and we knew about it, but what we didn't know was this part right here. When you swap components or swap traits on your Rooney, it is going to burn a Rooney to do that. So people thought that you could just like swap them around. So a lot of people would even get some that they wanted to change colors on. Like, oh, I've got this one that's green and red and this one that's green and red. Well, I'm going to take the red parts and put it on one and the green parts and put it on another. And then I'll have two matching Rooney instead of two mismatched Rooney. That's not how it's going to work. If you want to take the trait from one and put it on another, you have to basically burn the unused Rooney, the unused traits. And that's going to make Rooney deflationary essentially. And that is a big piece of info that we honestly didn't know before the sale. So a lot of people are unhappy about this because some people potentially, I know some people actually did do this, go out and buy Rooney specifically for the traits, wanting to swap it, not realizing that if you swap, you're going to end up with one less Rooney than you had before. Now, one thing it does, it's more than just swapping traits, though. There are some benefits. So it also says that this will work like the BCX system in Splinterlands. So basically, you can level up your Rooney in a way. Now, that's not going to have any impact in game. It's not like you need to combine Rooney to level them up to max level to get all the stats or something like that. Every Rooney used in battle is going to be max level. But this could provide benefits in other areas. So maybe something like land, for example, or with some of these other potential airdrops to Rooney holders or other things like that. We'll kind of get into some of those here in a little bit. But this is something that I love the idea, and I actually think it's great, and I love the idea of burning the Rooney. And I think if they had announced this before the sale, people would have absolutely loved it, especially when they announced it with when they initially announced the component swapping and the reconstruction. All right, and I think that would have been absolutely great, and maybe the idea of Rooney being deflationary would have led to more sales. And we'll see. Again, Rooney are still up for mint right now. We'll see if the floor rises or if people go out and mint. I know this has been a terrible day in crypto just overall with the whole FTX situation and prices going down and everything like that. So maybe not the best day to put out something that might encourage more sales. And so we also hear people speculating, oh, they're just doing this to try and increase more sales and get more, like, announcing it's deflationary. No, this was something that was actually planned. I saw Matt posted in I think it was on one of the Twitch streams. That might not be right, but I did see a comment where he's like, no, this was the plan all along. He didn't realize that the component swapping was actually put out on the roadmap the way it was ahead of time. And it was kind of basically a miscommunication by the team. So he definitely admitted that there was a mistake and this was not communicated properly. And I definitely agree with that. And I think people have the right to be upset because they may have bought expecting for it to work one way. Now, again, Splinterlands never said how it would work. They never said any details about how you would swap or whether it would be burnt or not. So it's not like they put out full details and that type of thing. So anyone buying on something they didn't fully understand, yeah, you can say there's risk there. But honestly, I didn't expect it to be burned. So I think it's perfectly understandable just to think that you'd be able to swap. Again, they even changed the name because the component swapping is certainly misleading. You're not necessarily swapping pieces if you're burning it. So no, I definitely agree that the way this was, the time frame in which this was communicated was not great. But overall, I love the idea. So I'm. It's unfortunate that some people are going to get burned because of this, and that their Rooney aren't necessarily going to work the way they thought. But I hope down the line this is still going to be beneficial for those people, because yeah, maybe they got 4 or 5 Rooney thinking they could swap them. But if we make them, if something like this makes them more valuable, and I think this will make them more valuable, then hopefully those players who picked up those multiple Rooney are still going to be beneficiaries down the line, even if it's not working the way they expected. I know that's not what people want to hear, that who may have bought things like that. But I think it was a great concept, a great idea. Just communicate the timeline for the communication was just kind of poor there. But anyways, moving on from that, we have Rooney badges. This is something that I think everything else everybody's going to like here. So Rooney badges is going to be a way that, first off, what are badges? Let's look at that. Badges will be separate, standalone, tradable NFTs which can be added to existing Roonies and will be displayed in the behind the Rooney character in the background. So this is a way that they can partner with other communities, or whether it's other brands, other games, other guilds, whatever the case is. And I do think that's a cool thing. And one thing I love here, where does it say? Oh, achievements. It uses the word achievements. That's like a magic word for me. Mention the possibility of achievements coming. So you complete this achievement and you can unlock an NFT badge that can be displayed on your Rooney. I'm excited about that. I love that right there. So that's pretty cool. So additional utility guilds. I like this part as well. It talks about, so they want to kind of add new in-game guild features and possibly new buildings. So they could have a building, and instead of unlocking that building by burning DEC and by burning crowns like you do currently, or maybe in addition to unlocking them that way, they can be unlocked based on the number of Rooney NFTs that guild members stake, rather than staking to their in-game account. So you can stake it to your in-game account to play with it, or you could go stake it to your guild and your guild could get benefits. So I do think that's pretty cool. And I wonder if having a higher BCX Rooney will benefit there. Like, and again, so this is me adding my own speculation on top of this. This is not coming from inside info from the team. This is me just throwing out ideas personally. But if you want to incentivize combining these Roonies and making them deflationary and having higher BCX Roonies, like what if each guild member only had one spot where they can stake Roonies? So if you've got a guild of 30 people, you've only got 30 Roonies that you could stake, but you could have buildings that require like 60 or 90 BCX of the Roonies, so that the only way to unlock those benefits is by actually burning Roonies together or something like that. Now, not saying that's coming, but if you wanted to incentivize combining those, that could be a potential incentive there. So that would be kind of cool. But regardless of whether they go that far or not, I still think it's cool to give additional utility to Roonies in the guild land. So they talk about the idea of Roonies being able to be staked on the land and directly to a land. So not even like staking them to your account and then delegating the land. I don't know exactly how that would work, but staking to land. So you can't even, and that's how it's going to be with most land, right? You stake it to land, you can't play in the game. So I guess that makes sense. But this part was interesting. It's likely that Roonies with more rare traits and Roonies that have been reconstructed multiple times will provide increased benefits over common and unreconstructed Rooney. That's weird. Unreconstructed. Again, say this is all subject to change and that type of thing. But again, this is intriguing. because there's going to be a limited amount of land spots or of spots on your land that you have to add workers. So if a Rooney is more valuable with rare traits, or if it's more valuable if it's reconstructed, it's leveled up essentially a higher BCX. That could incentivize Rooney to become deflationary, especially if these are providing major benefits and you have, like, if you've got your castle holders, your keep holders, those types of huge plots of land, or valuable plots of land, I should say. It might not necessarily be a size difference. I don't know if it will or not, but there could be incentives to find the best possible workers for that land. And if a Rooney with a lot of rare traits and that's been reconstructed multiple times can provide significant bonuses for a valuable piece of land like a castle or a keep, that can motivate players to go out and reconstruct these Rooney. So again, multiple ways where Rooney could become deflationary. So right now, with Rooney still available, the crypto market being down, the floor is pretty low. Could it be valuable to go pick up some of these cheap Rooney right now? I'm not sure. So, and then membership. So they have added the idea of adding special features, basically a Splinterlands membership that would give access to special features, deals, airdrops, etc. Everybody likes airdrops, right? So that's always a good way to incentivize people. Give people free stuff for owning a Rooney, right? So it'll be interesting to see what they come up. But that's a very common theme with NFTs and that type of thing. So nothing necessarily new there, but it'll be interesting to see what twist Splinterlands adds to it. So again, it says mint. Well, you can, just like I mentioned, anything not sold after 3 weeks will end. The mint will end, and that's all the Rooney that there will ever be. So it does say that Splinterland on the final day, Splinterlands plans to mint 5% of the total, so 325 Rooney to use for promotional purposes. What kind of promos could they have there? I'm not sure, but right now, we don't have a bunch of Rooney, so we're gonna have. It's looking like a little over 3,000 right now based on what's minted. So I think if you add the 325, we'll be at like 3,200 or so. Rooney's going to be fairly rare. And if they give all this utility down the line after no more can be minted, I could see these being a nice little pickup. So we'll see. I'm definitely excited about the future of Rooney. I know the sellout, like the sale of Rooney. I shouldn't say the sellout. It was not a sellout. The sale of Rooney's wasn't overwhelming or wasn't inspiring necessarily, but the whole concept is still really cool. We still sold 3,000 Rooney. We now have we're going to have a card in the game that is unique for each player. We're seeing tons of Roonies in Discord as people's profile pictures, seeing them on Twitter. I love seeing all that, and just as a community thing, this has been really cool. Even if we didn't reach the 6,500 or whatever it is, and I think it's a great project and it's going to be exciting moving forward. So yeah, maybe it wasn't as great as it could have been in terms of sale numbers, but I still think this is a pretty successful and pretty cool project. And I think it's going to be good and open some doors for Splinterlands down the line. So I'm still very happy that they did this, and it's been a lot of fun. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. What do you think of these future ideas for Rooney? What do you think of this Rooney reconstruction? That's going to be has been the big hot topic. So I'm interested to see what people in the comments say, and especially those who didn't pick up a Rooney. Maybe again, I know those who picked multiple ones up with the intent of combining them and still having multiple Rooney are not going to be happy with this, and I absolutely understand why. And you've got every right to be upset. But I'm kind of curious to see the reactions from everybody else and see what they think of this process. Because again, I do think it's good. Just the timing on releasing that detail was kind of unfortunate. So, anyways, let me know. As always, I will be back. Make sure you guys come back to stream. I'm going to be bringing my stream. I think I'm going to be bringing my streams back to YouTube. So I know I've got a lot of you watching these videos who don't come to my streams because you don't have Twitch. You don't want to go to Twitch, anything like that. I think I've got a way. I think I'm going to use a new channel point system that will work even on YouTube. So I went to Twitch so that I could more easily give away my Darth Squirrel. So I think I might be bringing those back and going back to Restream, where I stream to multiple platforms. I'll still be streaming on Twitch. So if you like Twitch, you don't have to leave there. But hopefully that will be in place maybe by next week, and you guys can I can get we can get some more of you in these streams and get some more of you some Darth Squirrels. So I'll be seeing you there, whether it's here, whether it's on Twitch. Absolutely come by my live streams and watch some battles and chill out. It's a lot of fun. So thank you all very much. See you next time.